Why credit processing companies need your credit report. How merchant processing companies extend credit to the businesses they serve, presented by Ken Joubert, Joubert & Associates. People who want to obtain merchant processing so that they can take credit cards and debit cards are sometimes annoyed by all the information they must provide to the processing company. They aren't applying for credit cards themselves, they just want to accept payments. So why should the company need to run their credit records? In this video, we answer that question. It seems like an unnecessary intrusion to some merchants, and some will refuse to provide the information because they're outraged, the information about their credit records. They shouldn't be outraged, though. There actually is a legitimate reason for the processing companies asking for this sort of information. Processing companies and the receiving banks, which we call collectively here the credit card company or simply the company, do in fact extend credit to merchants who process through them. How? Remember the way taking a credit card or a debit card or other form of electronic payment works. The customer hands you, the merchant, a credit card. You swipe it through your reader, with or without checking identification and the name on the credit card, and the reader approves or authorizes the transaction. You hand the customer the goods, and the next day the funds show up in your bank account. There's a lot of trust implied in that transaction, much more than meets the eye. First, you trust that the card bearer is the actual owner, and even if you did check identity, which is rare, in these days of identity theft, what are you going to do? At some level, you trust. You trust the credit card company to put the money into your account. The customer trusts you or your product enough, at least on first blush, to part with the money. And the credit card company must trust you too. Now, suppose something goes wrong. Let's say that the customer decides you misrepresented your services or overcharged in some way. If you've taken credit payments before, you're probably aware of chargebacks, but in the final analysis, what happens there is the merchant gives the customer back his money, or at least supposedly. What actually happens, though, is that the credit card company pays the customer back and then tries to get its money back from you. It will do that in most cases by taking money from your future receipts rather than actually taking money back out of your account. You may know that customers can contest their charges long after the transaction, and so a chargeback can occur long after the money has come to you and gone away. In fact, it could happen even after your business has gone away. Many chargebacks could come that time. Every time a chargeback occurs, the credit card company is actually extending you credit when it pays the customer. By extension, then, every time you accept a credit card payment, the company is potentially extending you credit. They want to know they'll get their money back if something goes wrong. That's legitimate, and it's why the processing companies need to know the information they're asking for. I realize it can be annoying, but no agent or legitimate company could ask for less. The bright side of that, if you're changing processing companies for better rates or obtaining processing in the first place, is that you'll be getting paid time after time, month after month, for the time and trouble you put into the application. You should make that deal. We can help with that. Joubert & Associates. Give us a call at the number listed in the About This Video box, or visit our site at youcantakecredit.com.